Hi, Leo Rising. So let's do your reading. First of all, excuse my voice. I've been fighting a cold the last couple of days. So I've been resting, but I'm feeling much better. But I don't sound great, but I am great. Now, for you guys, I get a real mix of optimistic and not optimistic. And as I was laying out your things, I'm worried about your health, and I didn't really get in there, but that's the hit I got. Oh, okay. So that might come up. We'll see. Because you do have, and I felt it when I was putting down your Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn down there, and Capricorn is squaring this Venus up here in your 9th house, which isn't really a health house, but there's that. And it's starting to conjunct Mars there. I'm not going to get stuck on it, but it was strong. So watch your health. I hope you guys are being healthy. I guess I would say don't do anything unhealthy or risky, because I felt it very strong. Anyway, so we have a Sun-Moon conjunction for y'all in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is normally ruled by Pluto, and it is the house of death, rebirth, and regeneration. Death, rebirth, and regeneration is not fun. And it depends on where you're at in your journey. To have a new moon in there can suggest one of two things: that you've been going through it and you're on the up, you're about to go through it and have no idea, or you're in the middle of it. Because you have Neptune in there, which is a real slow mover, which tells me your shadow side, that part of you that we all have. We all have it. So for those of you who like to email me and call me judgmental or whatever, get a mirror, okay? Because we all have a shadow side. We all have a dark and a light. You cannot have one without the other. You have to be able to possess and acknowledge all of it. And so for you, Leo Rising, this is a very spiritual lesson, because we have Neptune in Pisces, where he is the most strong. And this new moon, while not conjuncting the Neptune, is in a conjunction with Chiron. So this tells me that in the arena of shadow side, of death, rebirth, regeneration, that you all are going to go through a transformation with this new moon and in the month of March. By having that wound, woken up a little bit. Why? So you can heal it and move on to the next lesson. How's that going to go? Well, that one rules other people's money. It rules and that means like tax returns, divorce settlements, things that you don't go to work and, clock in and out and, earn it. For me, it's the house of divorce. It's death of marriages. It's death, period. If you have a lot of transits through there, which you don't. This is a moment in time. New moons are important, but for a month. They're not far-reaching. So, yeah. Sacred sexuality, wounds in that area can be sexual wounds, or the wound of not being able to be sexual in the way that you want to be. That kind of thing. Being told you're a pervert would be a good example. Like if you're a healthy sexual person, and a wound can be, I see this often, not often, but more than once, because it's such a broad house, with the Chiron placements or heavy placements in the 8th house, regardless of sign, that comes up of you know, I enjoy X, Y, and Z. A lot of times it's very harmless, and, you know, they've been vilified for it and go around feeling completely sexually unfulfilled their whole life until they heal that wound, until you go, wait a minute, there's entire websites dedicated to this thing. Why am I embarrassed? Why am I having an issue? And that's how, you know, through investigation that we heal these things. Sorry, I'm so stuffed up. I get out of breath. I don't realize it until I start talking. Okay, and then Venus is in the next house, your 9th house of personal philosophies. Venus is how we give and receive love. It's our feminine principle. It rules money. In the 9th house, you know, perhaps something's coming up in your life in mid-March, in the month of March, where you're going to have to reformulate what it is to you. Your philosophy surrounding that. How do you give and receive love? And this usually involves when you're reformulating or calling up for question what it is you think of something, what it's really wanting you to do is to examine your own beliefs. You know, a really good example would be, I require a picket fence and 2 children. I want the 10 of cups. That's the only way I can do it. It's the only way. Real love is only real when I have achieved that. So when people go through heavy 8th, 9th house transits with Venus and love planets and all that, especially with Chiron involved, brings up situations to make that person go, well, shit, I thought I wanted that. How? Well, there's like a million different ways. Usually, you know, we don't reformulate our entire philosophies of you know, such an important topic in one fell swoop. But what this does suggest is conversations going on, and especially with Uranus in there, he's not touching her, but he's there. Sudden unexpected insights into that house. I'm feeling this is positive for you guys. I don't, so there's conversations. So there's Venus, and then there's Mercury over there in Aries. So this is very action oriented, and it can be aggressive. It can be like an argument, but I don't think it's an argument. 9th house isn't really the place for that. It's more like having, excuse me, breathe, right? Having conversations about love that later cause you to go deeper and have your own insight, if that makes sense. Because you're probably, I mean, it could be an actual conversation about what you believe with someone else. It could be. It's usually not how it goes. It's usually inputs and conversations going out throughout your life that cause you to reformulate your own, because only you can formulate your personal philosophies. Other people aren't going to talk you into one usually. Sometimes, but not usually. And then you got nothing else until your 1st house with North Node and Leo. So you guys are going through so much change in your life right now. And it looks like a lot of it's right at this time is North Node aspecting anything? I haven't looked, because for most people it's not going to be some wildly important thing, but because it's on your ascendant, it's in your ascendant right now, it's very important because it's you. It is trine. It is in positive flow over here. So even if this is negative, even if it's a fight, even if it's, you know, hardship and conversation, a good example of this would be just bickering with whoever it is you have in the picket fence scenario. You have your picket fence scenario. You got the kids, you got the picket fence and the rainbows, but yeah, there's all this bickering going on. And the bickering in that area of life would be, let's say you're the woman and your man comes home and is all up in your grill about why things aren't clean and, you know, why dinner's not ready. And you're like, look here, motherfucker, I work full time too. And that's not my role. That's not what I'm doing. That's not whatever. And say you're stuck in that kind of scenario. Very basic, you know. It's not the bickering. It's not that particular conversation that makes you go, huh. It's repeated bickering over time that is causing you to really question, am I really cut out for this picket fence thing? Do I really want to be somebody's, little woman? I thought I did, but shit, no, maybe I don't. Maybe it brings up wounds in you watching your mother do those things, and you realize you've repeated the pattern. It's that kind of thing. It's larger philosophies. Now, if you're not coupled, not partnered, this is people up in your grill going, hey, Leo Rising, have you found anybody yet? Are you planning on settling down anytime soon? And with that North Node in Leo and Jupiter opposing your career house, I bet you have things going on in your life, if you're single, that have nothing to do with the relationship. Nothing. And this would be getting asked that 600 times or having conversations about it. And for whatever reason, this 601st conversation about it causes you to go, look here, motherfucker. I've got a lot going on in my life. That's not the only thing I'm worried about. And it gives you a new philosophy of, you know what? I love myself. I love my life. I don't need to bemoan what's not in it. Like that is the vibe of it. All right. And the only reason I'm talking relationship is because we have Venus there. It doesn't have to be. It could be money. It could be arguments about money and philosophies about money. Projects, things you care about, things you love. I'm looking at that North Node in Leo. Because really, with that North Node in Leo and South Node in Aquarius, your focus needs to be more on yourself. But yet, all the actions over here in, energy that feels relationship-y. So how's that go? My guess is it's situations that keep coming up and up and up to inspire you, make you do exactly that. Focus on yourself. Doesn't mean you can't have partnerships. It does not mean that at all. It means that needs to not be your end-all be-all. Jupiter and Scorpio, this is your deepest emotional core, which goes along with that Aries situation you got going on up there. Having conversations, unexpected insights into how it is you give and receive love and or money. Mars in Sagittarius in your 5th house of romance. He is in positive flow with what? No, he is squaring the new moon. That feels a little angry. So we got the house of partner, or the house of romance and fun and joyfulness and happiness, and negative flow with this new beginning in death, rebirth, and regeneration. Could be passionate. It could. I'm feeling more aggressive, angry. Pluto. What is Pluto in the month of March? Transforming in your life in the house of health, day-to-day service to the world, your job, your body, your day-to-day life, day-to-day responsibilities. And then Saturn in Capricorn, what is he teaching us or teaching you for the month of March in that arena? This is daily spiritual practice. It's the natural house of Virgo, so it's very, it's hardworking, it's responsible, it's disciplined, that kind of thing. What is he teaching you about? And then South Node in Aquarius in your house of committed partnership, the other close associations. I always see South Node as you're good there, or it's not going anywhere, that energy. So you don't need to, work on it, hone in on it. So when people are having a South Node transit to their 7th house and they're telling me, oh, we need to go to counseling, we need to do this, this, and this, I would almost encourage you to do it by yourself first or in tandem with it, because you are the star of the show when you got North Node going through your 1st house. Sun in Aquarius, what's being illuminated with this new moon for the Leo rising, 5 of Swords reversed. So you guys are trying to mature, trying to be more upfront and be less, 5 of Swords for me a lot of times is a little asshole that lies a lot and tries to get away from things, try to steal from the cookie jar. Don't take into account consequences of words and actions, that kind of thing. So what's being illuminated is you are not wanting to come off that way, behave that way, or no longer dealing with someone who is that way. Moon, how are you feeling about that? 10 of Pentacles reverse and Justice. This highly suggests being in a situation, if you are in a couplehood, of acknowledging bad behavior on your part at some point, and you're trying to be a better person, but your heart's not in it with that 10 of Pentacles reversed. So you're trying to even things out, you're trying to be better, or you're allowing someone else to do this. I think it's you. I think it's you. I think you guys engage in some shenanigans, and I'm not judging you, you know? I mean, there's a lot of reasons people do that. And for, you know, it's not for me to say anyway. It's your life. And so there were shenanigans. You behaved in a way that you knew good well that was not good. You're trying to make it better. You're trying to be a better person, but you're not so sure how it is you feel about that 10 of Pentacles reverse, which is like generational. So, you know, what very much comes to mind is a partnership where you were together, you have at least one child, and perhaps you cheated or almost cheated, or it's not stealing energy. It's not like that. It's not being truthful about something, catering to your wants and needs without consideration of others. And again, we all do these things. And now you're trying to be better, either because you can't financially, it's financially necessary for the family, and or your heart's not in it. Chiron, what is your wound? In the 8th house, we have King of Swords and Queen of Wands reversed. Well, there you go. A lot of times for me, the King of Swords is principled. So a lot of times for me, they show up as like a, you know, a man in uniform kind of thing, like a police officer, or because they're, you know, firefighters, military. You know why? Because that sword cuts through the bullshit. It's like a soldier is going to go where their commander tells them, regardless of it, if they agree or disagree. It's not a discussion. It's like, I'm there. Same with firefighters and law enforcement, that type of thing, ideally, right? And so that's what I'm feeling here with this energy, that your wound is that for whatever reason, probably in a time of crisis of some sort, either you were very fearful for, could be your life. Let's take the war example. Maybe you were in war at one point, something dramatic like that, or somebody died, or some sort of like shit, you know, that made you at some point go, you know what, this fun and games and shenanigans, my very nature of who I am, is not important. What's important is being this guy. This is what's important. This is what I'm going to do. I mean, talk about round peg and square hole. It's not your energy. It doesn't mean that you can't be a man in uniform. It doesn't mean you can't possess some of this energy. But it's trying to live your life in a way that isn't honoring who you are. You guys are here on earth to be Queen of Wands. That is why you're here. That's it. This can also be a parent wound back in the day where you had a mother who is like a crazy person. Queen of Wands reversed. Ooh, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near her, and I'm very fire, so I recognize my own self in that. You know, she is scary when she is reversed, and perhaps you had a really even, steady father, not kind, not warm and fuzzy by any stretch of the imagination, but there in principle, or vice versa. A mother like that and a father like the other. Because we have a decidedly, turned off fire energy and an elevated air energy. And air is an idea. It's just thoughts and ideas. Just like I said, doesn't mean all military people, police officers, or whatever are principled all the time. No, because it's an idea, a thought, a philosophy, right? All right. So with Pisces and Neptune, what is the spiritual lesson? Well, there you go. You're not listening to your own intuition. I repeatedly feel you guys being in a space in life, in love, most of the time, but it doesn't have to be love. It's living your life in a way that is not in alignment with what you know to be true about you. And it has something to do with the 8th house. Hidden things, things that you're ashamed of, taboo things that you don't, in your mind, feel will be acceptable. And it could be fear, it can be that you'll be outcast, you won't be accepted, that kind of thing. So if you are going against your nature, against your intuition, that's the lesson. You're going to suffer. You're going to draw experiences to you that aren't going to work again and again, like beating your head against a wall until you wake up. Venus in Aries. We have 3 of Wands reversed and the wheel reversed. Something you don't like is going on. Something's come home to roost. Something has come back from the past, but not like the 6 of Cups. It's not like that. It's more actions, attitudes, anything, passions, ideas, things that you put energy into at some point in time. You loaded the ships up, they went out, now they're back. That's what that means. You're sending them out, watching them go away. Each ship contains something, and in this situation, because it's represented by Venus, it's either love or money or both. Something having to do with that. How you give and receive love. It's back. And it ain't good. This is like being confronted with some very uncomfortable things that are probably true in your life, in your personal philosophies. So for instance, let's say you've been embodying this King of Swords energy. Like you've decided, you know what, I'm going to not play up my Leo tendencies and I'm going to ignore that. Even though I'm the sun itself. I'm the most optimistic energy ever, and I shine everywhere I go and whatever. But people tell me that's goofy, and I'm a goofball, and I don't take things seriously. So I'm going to be serious now. I'm going to live like that King of Swords. And you struggle. And all you can manage to be is this guy. What does this guy do? When he is unhappy, he does what he wants. Come good, bad, or indifferent, I feel like you did something in that 8th house. It would be like affairs, taboo things. At some point, now it's coming back. It's coming back with Mercury and Aries. Well, there you go. 6 of Cups, Princess of Wands, reversed. Somebody and something came back from your past, and there was some fighting about that. Oh, show. Something you did. Or somebody else did. You're paying for it now. Uranus, sudden, unexpected, and you're exhausted. You're like, I don't even know. I just have to take a nap. I don't know what to do. Aww. I think you were surprised at whatever this thing was. Now remember, this is your 9th house of personal philosophies, travel, higher, education, that type of thing. Insert any of those things. Like if you're a younger person and your deepest desire, your deepest love was to go to a certain school and you put out all these applications, what's coming back is not what you want. Not what you wanted. And you're irritated. And you're just going to take a break from it. If it has to do with love, I think there was some behavior on your part or the other person's part or both that in the past that's returned, and you're taking a break. It's exhausting. You're exhausted. I think I got that last time because you're just tired. Let's look at this Mars squaring. Mars in the 5th house. So this is children, romance, joyfulness. It's your house. It's your natural house. 5 of Cups. You're very disappointed to not be able to be that 5 of Swords anymore. You liked gallivanting around. You liked it. Now you're having to buckle down, it looks like, and you're not into it. You're not enjoying this. You're just not. If you're a younger person and off in college or that type of thing, or maybe you moved to a new town and it's not what it's cracked up to be. This could be a scenario where you were like, I will be the happiest person on earth if I could just live in New York City. That's what I've always wanted, and I know my life will be just amazing because, King of Swords, I mean, the swords are thoughts, they're knowledge, they're whatever, because my grandpa went to school over there and lived over there and he loved it, so I know I'll love it too, and I'm going to get serious and go pursue stuff over there, and you hate it. You just hate it. You thought you'd fall in love with it, and you didn't. That's the idea of it. It's something you thought you really, really would like. If you're single, God, what can you not insert this with? You tried something on, and you don't like it, and now you're forced to hang out in that, whatever it is. Relationship, person, job. I'm sorry, it's a parenthood. A lot of you could have just had children and you're like, this sucks. And don't let anybody tell you that not a parent alive goes through that, because all of them do. Like, perhaps this was not the best choice. I mean, you're not going to, box your kid up and return it to Amazon, but most parents go through that feeling of like, whew, I could have waited probably before doing this. It's disappointment. It's not what it's cracked up to be, whatever this is. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I have to. It's so gross, but it's going to come flying out my nose. There. Okay. This looks very similar to your other one, so you're still going through it. I'm sorry. Let's see. Is there an end in sight with North Node and Leo? Oh, Looks like it. We've got 7 of Cups, Ten of Swords and Two of Swords. Either you caused betrayal and you're hurt by the consequences of what it is has occurred. I don't feel that somebody's hurting you. I don't get that. I think it's sorrow and overthinking, ruminating on what's already occurred. It doesn't feel current. It feels like, there was the tower situation, it happened, you got found out, or you found out someone else, and now we're here. It's all done now. Now you got to make some decisions. You know, that Seven of Cups is, now what? I've decided to hang out for whatever reason in this situation. It feels financial. In the case of going to this school, you've already paid the tuition. In case of a marriage, you got kids and maybe it's a money issue. If you moved, you don't have enough money to move again. If it's a job, you're not in a financial position to get a new one or change it or whatever. And so you're stuck for now, but you're already looking at your other options. What or how can I get to a different place? And you're going to have to make some decisions coming up. In your deepest emotional core with Jupiter in Scorpio, Nine of Pentacles and Seven of Swords. You guys are very stubborn. You're going through it. I don't care how old you are. You're being forced to grow up, and you don't like it. You're like, yeah, I got to take responsibility for my choices. I get all that or whatever. But deep inside, what you're trying to figure out is how you can have fun and do what the fuck you want, despite what commitments and situations you're in, right? So this would be like, I hate my job and I hate where I live. I wish I had enough money not to do it, but that's okay. And I'm going to half-ass it at work, and it could, in a wild example, it would be like, embezzling from the company or whatever, but I don't feel that. This would be like stirring up drama at work because you can, because it's fun. Well, as long as I hate it here, I'll stir it up. You're seeing your own proclivity for that, maybe. If it's a relationship, hands down, you'd rather not be in one. And if you do want to stay in that relationship, you're trying to figure out right now how it is you can cheat without getting caught. It's that simple. What's Pluto in the 6th house in Capricorn? 6 of Wands. And so you're going to get some sort of victory. Or he could be cutting you down to size. Let's see. What are you being taught? The Hermit. Ooh. It's time for you guys to really examine where you're at and what you're doing with your life. How you're conducting yourself in life. This comes up again and again for you guys. Are you winning? Are you winning if you got to sneak around? Is that winning? In the dark of night? Stealing people's shit? You got 7 of Swords and 5 of Swords. This is like if you cheated, this is you telling yourself, I just won't get caught next time. It's a dangerous game. You need to be in your truth. If you want more than one partner, go find yourself a swinger. It's not having more than one partner. That's not the issue. It's the sneaking around. It's hurting other people when you do that. If everybody's not on the up. And you know that. It says you do with that High Priestess reversed. the relationship and commitments that you have is just keeping you up at night. You're miserable. Miserable in it. Man, I'm sorry. You guys are such happy people. It's even reflected in here. You're miserable. So you're like jollily and happily like, how can I keep being happy and doing me and whatever so I don't get caught? Wow. Okay, well, I admire your moxie. I'm a Leo sun. I get it, man. I do, because you're indulgent people. You like what you like. Let's see. I'm looking at that Five of Swords reversed. In what ways are you trying to do that? How are you not? Are you trying to not be an asshole anymore? Way too many at a time. First. I really want to know why the Ten of Pentacles is reversed here with Justice. It almost implies like you couldn't get divorced because there's not enough money, or you're trying to make it better, but you're not invested for real. Tell me more about this Chiron. King of Swords and the Queen of Wands reversed. And also, too, that Six of Cups and Princess of Wands reversed. This is a woman really mad at you. It's like a conversation about children and she's mad or something like that. I want to know what this Wheel of Fortune reversed represented by Venus in Aries and Three of Wands. What is so unfortunate that came back with Venus in Aries? What are these options that you're having to make a decision on with North Node and Leo? That's very optimistic. This is like happy choices. I'm not going to lie, you guys. It feels schemy. Why not just do what you need to do, even if it's hard? Even if. This Jupiter down here with the Nine of Pentacles and Seven of Swords. What is it you're trying to get away with? This is almost like you're trying to get away with being single when you're not single, or trying to get away with spending money when you don't have money, that kind of thing. What are you regretting in this Five of Cups with Mars and Sag in the House of Romance and Children? How can Leo best learn the energies of the Hermit and Six of Wands in the sixth house? That makes me nervous. This is like trying to teach you a better way to live your day-to-day life. I hope it's not a health thing that forces the issue because you're refusing to do it. For the Sun in Aquarius with the Five of Swords reverse, we have Five of Cups reverse. Well, you know what? You're trying not to cry about it. You're trying to do it with gusto, so good for you. Oh, shit. For the Ten of Pentacles reversed and Justice, this is the one where you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to even things out. Maybe there's not enough money. Maybe there's not, your heart's not in it, but you're going to give it a go or whatever. You got the Star. So you're trying to repair a situation. So good. This wound with the King of the Swords and the Queen of Wands reversed, we've got the Knight of Swords reversed, the Page of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. I think it is a parent wound or some sort of perception that you got long ago that it's better to embody these other energies. You got that idea in your head at some point, and it's just not panning out for you. Why? Because it's not who you are. You know? With this Six of Cups and Princess of Wands reverse with Mercury in the 9th house. So someone being upset about children, some from your past being upset, something like that, some sort of conversation with that person. We got Six of Swords and Temperance. Oh, okay. Let's see. I think I get it. And then Justice. I think for those of you who are coupled, there was some serious discussion about whether or not to get divorced due to some bad behavior on your part, their part, or both your parts. This feels strongly cheating. Didn't have to be. Just bad behavior in general. Everybody's trying to do the right thing here. And I don't think anybody wants to be there, is what it feels like. Replace marriage with anything. All the scenarios I already said. You're where you don't want to be. You're trying to be who you're not. North Node. Knight of Cups. Oh. Come on. I really hope this is you giving it your all in this situation. It feels like you got your eye on a new person. Don't put your hand back in the fire. That's silly. Either, okay, this is the Emperor. I thought it was the Devil. It's decidedly a little darker there than in other decks. I think it's all true. I think you're telling yourself or someone else sweet things, and you want something very different than what you're doing. That's what it feels like. Mars with the Five of Cups. We have Death reversed. It's like you know that the end to whatever this is that you're trying so hard to preserve is inevitable. And yet, you're going to keep trying. It's fine. You know, this is how we learn, you guys. In astrology, everything is cycles. It ebbs and it flows. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're not. Leos are pretty charmed. Most of the time you're well loved and well liked and all of those things. And, you know, winter has to come. It just does. I think Aries was the other one who's having a time of it and repeatedly choosing things you know are not good for you. And you know what? How long are you going to do that? Until you don't need to do it anymore. Is it good for you? Well, I guess so, if that's what you need. If you need to keep returning to this and give it 150,000%, then that's what you need, you know? It's as simple as that. You guys are very willful in an optimistic way. you know? This would be you like on, I can do this thing. I can do it. It's fine. It's not great, but I'll find ways to have fun. Which is perhaps the lesson, huh? Okay, so I asked it in the sixth house, how is it that you can best own this lesson that the Hermit and the Six of Wands is going to bring? And you got the Sun reversed and the Three of Cups. That's actually really cool. It's basically telling you, yes, go out and celebrate, have a good time, make the best of a bad situation. But be sure to take your time to go within and listen to your intuition, listen to your spiritual side, however it is you guys do that. If you know good and well. Okay, so because this has a decidedly, I'm doing this again. I feel this is worth preserving. If it's a marriage and there's children involved, my children deserve a chance of, two parents. Even though I don't love my partner, even though I want to get divorced, even though I cheat on them, or vice versa, and you're going to try it again, it says that's fine. Then give it 1,000,000%. Give it your all. Don't look out, don't keep trying to do the same shit. Then do something really different and see if this is salvageable or not. It's really not a fair shake or a fair chance in this new town or this marriage or whatever this thing is that you keep going back to that doesn't make you happy and you feel like you should like it and you don't. If you're going to insist on giving it another chance, then whatever shenanigans you've been up to, whatever shenanigans you insist on engaging in, don't do it. Give it a real and fair chance. For real. Don't do the thing that blew it up anymore. Go within and listen to your intuition. Find your high priestess. Find your hermit. Find those things. Make it a daily practice. Really be open to the universe guiding you into the place that you need to be. Okay? I love that you're... This is not a great reading, and yet the energy of it is, it's okay. I'll just give it one more try. In the happiest, because you're you. You guys are who you are. And you're well loved for it. And this is a worthy lesson for you. What happens when you're not well loved and you got to go back in it? Or you're not well loving it? Or both? You're doing it with a happiness, a verb that I always like about you guys.